court next calls the case of Michelle Helmke versus Jamie Blanchard. This is case number 25500LT. Ms. Helmke appears, as does Ms. Blanchard. Ms. Blanchard, when we were here last, we had adjourned for legal advice and for financial assistance. Were you able to apply for financial assistance?
Yeah, I still have pending things that I haven't gotten a resolution one way or another on.
Did you file as required a proof of filing for financial assistance?
No, they required it by Monday. We were in court on Thursday. It wasn't something I was able to provide paperwork for. It seems the court requires extensive documentation of this, and most things are done online. The first time we went through this procedure, I had a very hard time filing that paperwork, and I didn't have any physical papers to reflect it.
Who have you applied with?
Several different local agencies, including the Department of Human Services, Salvation Army, Love Inc., and Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency. And a couple of those decisions are outstanding yet.
So you've heard some back,
yes.
And those are.
I haven't heard anything positive.
Let me finish my question, please. And the ones that you've heard back, I assume those you're not going to be getting assistance from those, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did they give you any indication as to how long it would be before you would be receiving any response back?
28 days is the generalized time frame. I don't know.
And when did you make application?
I made application on Monday after we were in court last, so I believe the date would have been 14th, but I don't have a calendar from here.
All right. Okay, well, I believe it's appropriate to move forward on the hearing today, given that the defendant did not file proof of application for assistance, and this is not our first time here. I'm assuming since we are here, there is no resolution in this matter. Is that true, Ms. Helmke?
That's true.
And is that true, Ms. Blanchard?
That's true, but I am requesting a jury trial, and I came with the appropriate funds to file for that today.
Did you file within the 5 days after having received notice of the jury trial as required?
I haven't received a notice for a jury trial. I'm requesting it.
No, what I meant.
I was in court, but I needed to come up with $50.
Ms. Blanchard, you're testing my patience.
I apologize.
Let me finish my questions. When we were here last time, I notified you of your right to a jury trial. Did you file that right to have a jury trial?
I did not have the funds available at that moment. I do today.
Did you request a waiver of the financial requirement?
I didn't feel that I needed to. I came today prepared to move forward with that.
Well, the court rules provide that has to be done within 5 days of receiving notice.
I did not know that. I apologize, but I came with the money today thinking that was what was appropriate for the situation.
Unfortunately, that's not what's appropriate. It has to be done within the 5 days. So
I don't feel like I received adequate notification of that.
When the court notified you when we were here last, I notified you had the opportunity for a jury trial. You stated you wanted a jury trial. You did not file the notice for a jury trial.
I needed to come up with the funds to pay for such. I assumed that.
It seems like every time we're here, Ms. Blanchard, there's an excuse for something. This is not our first go around. Now, I realize that at one point we did dismiss because Ms. Helmke did not appear on time. But I find that there is not good cause to allow a late filing of the jury demand. You were notified when we were here back on April 10th that you had a right to a jury. There is always the request to the opportunity to request that due to financial means that the court waive the financial requirement or the filing fee for a jury demand. That was not presented. The court has not received proof of you applying for assistance. So as such, I find there is not good cause to allow a late filing of a jury demand. Ms. Humka, are you prepared to move forward today?
I do also have, I just received a DTE shut off notice for the,
Okay, well, we're gonna take this procedurally. So I have a summons that is requesting a money judgment and an order of eviction. And I have a complaint that at least at the time it was filed back on March 18th. It was signed March 18th, it was actually filed March 27th. That there was a total amount due at that time of $9,027. I also find I take judicial notice the court file contains a notice to quit 7 days. That was filed with the court on March 27th, 2025, and dated March 18th, 2025. The proof of service or the certificate of service says that was mailed by first class mail on March 18th of 2025, and giving the defendant 7 days to either vacate the property or pay the $9,027 owing. Before we begin, if you both raise your right hands, you both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
yes.
Ms. Humka? It's your case, so what do you want the court to know?
Well, I want you to know that she just received another shut off notice for DTE. And then I also have pictures of the house with the damages in it. I did not do for damages,
Let's start out with the basics first. Is there a rental agreement in this case?
yes.
And how much is the monthly rental amount?
The monthly rental amount went up to $800 on the 1st of August.
Of 24?
Yes.
Where is the property located?
7085 Ponderosa Drive, Cadillac, Michigan, 49601.
The court will take judicial notice that lies within Wexford County.
Yes,
At the time that the rent went up to $800 on August 1st, was the defendant current on her rent?
she was. I mean, she got behind a little bit, but she was bringing me money. She worked a farmer's market.
Okay.
So she would bring me a little bit of money every time she got paid.
So on August 1st of 24, she owed $0 to you.
I forgot my paper. I'm not quite sure without looking at my paper. I don't have my amount paper in front of me, I'm sorry. I do have it in the car in another folder.
So then moving forward from August 1st of 2024, when was her rent due?
Her rent is due the 1st of every month.
Okay.
I did give her leeway for the 30th or the 31st of the end of each month. And that was when she signed the agreement, but she couldn't make those payments at that time. So we moved it to the 1st, and then she had a leeway of 10 days.
Okay.
Before I charged the late fee.
So on August 1st, that the rent due August 1st would have been for August rent or September rent?
August rent,
Okay. Did she make a rental payment on August 1st?
yes.
Full amount?
No.
How much did she pay?
Yes, she did pay the 800.
Okay. Then on the next date then would have been
September.
September 1st. Did she make that payment?
No, yes.
Hold on, you'll get the chance to rebut. Did she make that payment?
I'm not, off the top of my head, I can't without seeing the paper.
On October 1st, did she make that payment?
No,
Did she make any payment?
no, She hasn't made a payment since then.
So there've been no payments received since August 1st.
October 1st.
Right, but you said she hasn't made a payment since then, so she didn't make a payment in October. So the last payment she would have made would have
Made was
been
August.
August. Okay, so November, there was no payment. In December, there was no payment. January of this year, there was no payment. February of this year, there was no payment. March, there was not a payment. And now we're into April, so there was no payment in April as well. Is that true?
Yes.
And who is responsible for the electricity?
She is.
And have you had to pay any portion of the electricity?
I have not yet.
Okay. Is there gas there? Natural
Yes.
gas? Who's responsible to pay that?
She is.
Have you had to pay any portion of that?
Not yet.
Have you had to pay any portion of any of the utilities?
No, not yet.
Okay. Do you have any other out-of-pocket expenses that you have paid for as a result of this lease?
Yes.
What?
The filing fees.
Okay. And what are those?
I believe, I want to say the first one was $110. And then to have it served was $38.
Is that a question or is that,
No, it was
It was
$38.
$38?
There was some change, but I can't remember the change.
okay, so your court fees then were, looks like $148?
Total.
And when she would make payment, what was the form of payment?
She would pay me through the cash app or through just give me cash.
So I come up with $5,600 just based on October through April. You're claiming $9,027. What's the difference? And that was through mid-March.
I don't know. So we have August, September, October, November, December, January, February, April, March. At $850. Because there's a $50 late fee, and I did just say that.
So she would have had a $50 late fee in October, one in November, one in December.
No, I believe she had a $50 late fee all the way through the whole year because she was never on time.
Well, you told me that when we started the lease on August 1st, she had a zero balance.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you had said. So you said that she made the August payment. You couldn't remember if she had made the September payment. So December, there would have been a $50 late fee. November, there was a $50 late fee. December, there was a $50 late fee. January, there was a $50 late fee. February, there was a $50 late fee. March, there's a $50 late fee. In April, there's a $50 late fee. I'll show that 7, which is $350, which brings us to $5,950.
Okay, so I come up with 9 times 850 is $7,650. So we're at September, October, November. Oh, she said September, so I'm sorry. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So that's 9 months. Comes up
I come up
to
with seven.
$7,650.
Okay, but I come up with 7 months. We've got October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Or, I'm sorry, we haven't got to May yet. I'm sorry.
So I'm doing October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So we're at 7.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
my fault. So we're at 5950, and I don't know where the 9,000 came from, but if I had my papers in front of me, I'm okay with whatever you decide.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, this was the time for you to present your
I'm okay
numbers.
with
So,
it.
so,
Yeah.
do you have anything else you want me to consider?
The only reason I don't have everything together is because she asked for a jury trial. So I brought what I needed for today, thinking that we were going forward. So I'm all set with $5,950, and I would like you to make your judgment too.
Okay. Ms. Blanchard, what is it you would like me to know?
That I've been in the process of being evicted since January. I don't know what my rent obligation should be, considering the fact that I've not been welcome in my own home.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I have videos of her pounding on my door for 5 minutes straight at 8 o'clock in the morning after I was hospitalized, flown to Grand Rapids as an emergency. I'm dealing with a number of health problems. I'm in the middle of divorce. My daughter, who was helping me pay my rent when I started the lease with Michelle, left my home because of constant harassment. I've had people who were not court authorized servers deliver papers that in the middle of the night, I mean 9, 10 o'clock at night, pounding on my door to deliver 7-day notices to quit because my rent was not paid. And we're talking before the legal eviction process started. I've tried to get a mortgage. I've offered Ms. Homka $80,000. I re-upped that to $100,000. That was as much as I could get pre-approved. My family has resided in this home for 17 years. We've always paid our rent. She's not my original landlord. Her and her ex-husband separated and she retained control of my property. I have 2 animals that are gonna be homeless with me. I've tried to find employment. I'm working on doing things to help myself to better my own situation. But
So
I have tried. I let her into my home. She immediately started recording. I feel violated. Like, she wanted to come into the house to take a look around. She immediately had her cell phone out, camera recording, so she can go around town and badmouth me and slander me.
So what I'm left with today is to determine whether or not there was a rental obligation.
Yes, there absolutely is.
And
but-
so you agree that on August, well, let me ask you this, was there a lease beginning August 1st of 2024 for $800 a month?
Absolutely.
Okay. And did you make the August 1st payment as?
Yes.
Okay, and you paid that in full?
Yes, sir.
Did you make the September 1st payment?
Absolutely.
And was that in full?
It was in full. I don't think it was on September 1st. I think it was a couple of days past, but it was paid.
Did you make the October 1st payment?
No, sir.
Did you make the November 1st payment?
No,
Did you make the December 1st payment?
absolutely not.
Did you make the January 1st payment?
No, I was in the process of being evicted
Okay.
come January 8th.
Okay, but then that case was eventually terminated. But did you pay the February 1st rental
No,
payment?
sir.
Did you pay the March 1st rental payment?
No.
And did you pay the April 1st rental payment?
No,
And have you been in possession of the property during all those months?
yes, sir.
And do you agree that there is a $50 late fee that's accessible?
I do.
May I speak?
Just a moment.
I would like to see them.
And ma'am, do you agree that the property is located within Wexford County?
Absolutely.
Okay. Ms. Blanchard, you had something else you wanted me to know?
Yeah, in October, I had problems with my hot water heater. It was referenced during the first eviction hearing. That she was concerned that the pipes might have been frozen or something like that. I had called a local area business to have them come look at the hot water heater because it wasn't functioning correctly. And and I don't know how it ended up becoming an issue with her because I had informed them of my name, my address, and please come out and look at it, and that I would pay them when the service was rendered that day. But for whatever reason, they decided to call her and she denied service to my address and essentially left me with no means of having hot water in my home.
Do you have hot water now?
Yeah, absolutely. I got it taken care of, but she
When-
completely undermined the effort.
How did you get it taken care of?
Oh, I found somebody who wasn't part of a company who would just come in and take care of it themselves, and I have the receipts for such.
Do you have those receipts with you?
I don't, because I was hoping
Sure, I get it. Do you remember how much that was?
$150.
And did you receive reimbursement for that?
Absolutely not. She actually told the
Did you-
company that I had contacted that they were not allowed to provide service to that address.
Let me ask you, did you ask for reimbursement?
I did not.
You did not ask for reimbursement.
I didn't. It was never my intention.
How long were you without hot water?
3 days,
And that was back, you said October?
October.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Ms. Helmke, you indicated there was something you wanted to,
Well, I would really like to let you know that she has been a renter of ours for 14 years. But she lost her job 2 years ago, right, Jamie? Was it 2 years
you can't
ago?
answer your question, but just let me know.
So she lost her job. I let her slide for 6 months without paying me rent so that she could get back on her feet. She failed to tell you that. And I never did the eviction process, never went through the step. When I knocked on her door to serve her, she was home, and I've only done that once. With the hot water heater, yes, the business did call me because she did not pay any of her bills up and asked me if I wanted them to go in to replace the hot water heater. I in turn told them no, because I could replace it myself, and I have it in an email or in a text message, calling her and also texting her to let her know that I would be there right after I got out of work to fix the hot water heater for her. She would not let me in the house, and she would not return my calls. So on that day, and she did, she got somebody that night to replace her hot water heater, and I had called repeatedly, like the next day and the day after that, to make sure that she had hot water. So I did take care of her. I would never do that. I own 5 other rentals.
Ms. Blanchard, was the hot water heater replaced or repaired?
It was just repaired.
Okay.
And I did not owe the company that I contacted.
That's neither here nor there. I don't take that into consideration. What I'm left to determine today is whether there or not there is a rental amount due, and whether there's anything that offsets that rental amount. Now, Ms. Helmke had just stated that she had contacted you and said that she would be over to fix that hot water heater. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, she definitely offered, but I don't believe that Ms. Humka is a licensed practicer of hot
That's
water.
not your decision to make. Mike,
Yeah, she said something about
did I say something that strikes you as funny?
I just don't think that it's okay for somebody who's,
Are you the owner of the residence?
no, but I am the person who gets to deal with the fire.
Okay. And so From that statement, is it true that you wouldn't let her in to fix the hot water heater?
I didn't respond one way or another. I just got somebody
Okay.
to fix it. That's all I was originally intending to do in the first place.
Okay. Ms. Blanchard, do you have any other evidence you'd like me to consider?
I
Ms. Helmke, do you have anything else you'd like me to consider?
No, just that this has gone on long enough, and I would just appreciate you making a judgment to the crowd.
Okay, the court finds based on the hearing that a couple of things. One, that there was a written lease agreement in place. Two, that the property lies within Wexford County. And that Ms. Helmke is the proper party. I also find that pursuant to the testimony, while there was testimony that the defendant had resided at the residence for many years, whether it was 15 or 17 years, doesn't make one way a difference to the court. What the court is concerned with is that on August 1st, there was a new lease. Plaintiff testified that at that time there was a zero balance. And that at least the August 1st payment was made. She couldn't remember whether the September payment had been made, but Ms. Blanchard testified that that September payment was made. All parties agree that the October, November, December, January, February, March, and April rents were not paid, and that the rental amount was $800. They also agree that there was a $50 late fee for each one of those months. By my calculation, that brings us to $5,600 owing in back rent and $350 owing in late fees. While I understand that Ms. Helmke may have some concerns regarding electricity and gas and some damages, those aren't direct out-of-pocket expenses at this time, so it's not appropriate for the court to consider those. However, I also find that the defendant incurred filing fees of $110 and $38 in service fees. However, the payment receipt in the court's file, which I will take judicial notice, shows that there was $135.75 as a filing fee paid in this. Am I reading that correctly? That's the only file I have in front of me is the second one.
Yeah, but she can't claim that filing.
So it's the 130.
Yes,
Okay.
there's costs.
All right. Based on plaintiff's testimony, I find that the filing fees are appropriate at $110 and the service fee of $38. As such, I find that the defendant, that the plaintiff has a right to recover the property, that there is now owing on the property, including late fees of $59.50, $5,950, and costs of $148. For a total of $6,098 even. I find, and it is ordered, that that amount must be paid on or before May 5th. If that amount is not paid on or before May 5th, the plaintiff can request from this court an order of eviction. Additionally, the defendant may be liable for money damages for additional rent or damages after moving out of the property. The acceptance of a partial payment will not prevent the court from issuing a eviction order. And no money judgment, I'm sorry. The court will enter a money judgment the amount of the $6,098. I have signed that judgment. The parties can pick up a copy of it at the front window.